Welcome to Season 2 of Conversations That Matter. Starring William Hussey, 365, Dr. Jean Blackman, and Dominique Davis. The place where meaningful dialogue creates change. Sit back, grab a snack, and join us for a conversation that truly matters.
We in the building. How y'all doing out there today on this Resurrection Sunday, Easter Sunday? Happy Easter to everybody. Happy Easter to everybody. We hope you enjoying your day because you're about to enjoy this episode. Fellas, how y'all doing today?
Man, everything is everything.
That's what's up. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a great thing.
It's a great thing.
It's a great thing.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What's up with you, Nate? Fresh to death. You young Dro Fresh. Well, Polo.
Hey. I am ready to love.
Hey, let's get it.
Hey,
let's
man,
get
I'm
it.
feeling good, man. Feeling good, man.
Jerk House, what's up, baby?
Constantly draining and taking from you and depleting you. Then it's time to let go. They're supposed to be.
All right, we was having technical difficulties. Go ahead, Nick. What time is it, baby?
It's go time.
Let's get it. All right, y'all ready for an episode? A great episode, a
Let's
great
get it.
topic.
Let's get into it.
How our audience doing today? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling on this happy Easter?
Hey.
Man, we need a couple fellas to come down, man. It's all women up in here
Hey.
right now, man.
All women is a good thing.
Shit.
I don't know about the topic, but I'm just saying, all women is a good thing.
About to get our
That's
ass
what's
toe
up.
up in here.
So we about to get a toe up.
Yeah.
Let's get it. So the topic for today is whose fault is it? Is it the person who's treating you bad or is it you for allowing it to happen? Toxic relationships can stem from a variety of factors, often a mix of both parties' behaviors and boundaries. While one person may exhibit harmful behavior, the other can inadvertently enable it by tolerating or excusing it. Identifying responsibility is complex, often involving introspection, setting boundaries, and seeking support to address underlying issues.
In other words, when y'all gonna leave each other alone with that topic?
That's right. You got to know when it's time to go. You got to know when it's time to fold. You know what I'm saying? And you got to know when it's time to stay too and tighten up. That's a fact. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So, Dr. Jean Blackman, let's set this thing off. Give us your thoughts on where you want to start at, brother.
Man, okay. So my thoughts on it, man, in terms of answering the question, whose fault is it?
Yes.
I think it depends on a couple things. Sometimes I think it's the fault of the person, who's committing,
The acts.
the acts. And sometimes I think it's the fault of the person who allows it, especially
most
after
definitely.
a certain point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After a certain point, you continue to see bad habits.
Right.
At
Red
some
flag.
point, yeah, it's like, man, come on, like you keep allowing this to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. Give me your definition of toxicness, because I think everybody's definition of toxicness is different. Because it might be some shit I can take that you be like, oh, hell no, bro. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I don't really know how to define that. That's why you never hear me really say that.
Most
You
definitely.
know, a lot of people use it, and they use it so widely.
Yeah,
you
so
know.
freely.
Yeah, you have one argument with them. You're being toxic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's a
so,
fact.
So I never use it, man. That's why I couldn't tell you. how
Yeah,
to
for
define
sure.
it.
How about you, Nick?
Hey Siri, what's the definition of toxic?
Give it the microphone.
Okay. So anyway, my definition of toxic. Me.
Oh, okay.
Now-
Okay, got some transparency today. We
Okay.
being authentic today. Let's get it.
My definition of toxic is not meeting common ground. My definition of toxic is being a narcissist. My definition of toxic is being selfish and being
on now.
inconsiderate. You know what I'm saying? Because we all got bad traits, but to be toxic, can you change for the one that you so-called love?
Come on, brother. That was a good one. I like that. I would
What's
say,
your definition?
yeah, I agree with both of y'all. I think everybody has their own definition and own level depending on the relationship. But just like Dominique says, some of the groundwork, I would say, or some of the basis would be like if a person's argumentative, if a person is narcissist, which is like more controlling. You know what I'm saying? Even nagging. You know what I'm saying? Getting on my damn nerves is toxic.
Facts.
To a degree. You know what I'm saying? Cheating. this toxicness,
Very,
you know what I'm saying?
very.
Being able to have to deal with somebody that's always cheating on you or entertaining other things or something to that sort. But definitely once it starts to get physical, you know, if we put hands on each other, if we arguing and using our tongue, weaponizing our voice to hurt the other person, to harm the other person in a form of manipulation or in order to control them or kind of, you know what I'm saying? Because it can get to where a point you feel like, oh, that person's going to listen to me, you know, so close and so deep that anything I say, I can control them with, you know what I'm saying? With that form of manipulation. So certain things like that, but it's wide range. Like you say, a lot of people use it freely now.
Absolutely.
It be one little thing and the homie saying it's toxic. You got to get out of that. You know what I'm saying? But you got to learn how to weather the storm sometimes too. Because you're going to get a little argument in certain relationships. But like I say, physical and all that, I think that's when it's really toxic. If they pulling up at your job and, you know what I'm saying, and causing havoc and showing their ass, that's toxic. That's just too much.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's go to the comments. Do we have some comments?
Yes, we do. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Happy Sunday.
Jerk
Happy
House
Sunday.
says, what's good, fellas? We in the building. Travis Gilmore says, Chef Gilmore in the building.
Pull up, boy.
Brian Telfair says, everyone is in charge of their own happiness. We have the power to change our situations.
Most definitely.
All right.
Yes. Byron Gladden says, my definition of toxic is Gene Blackman. Thank you, Byron, for your opinion.
Byron.
Yes.
Can you expound on that? Give us a little bit more. How did you come to that conclusion?
Yes, Byron.
Talking about Byron.
Yeah.
Can't wait for your response, Byron. Corey McCann says toxicity is actually no one's fault if both parties actually like it.
Agree, Corey.
E.g.,
You got
Jody and
it.
Yvette.
If it works, it works.
Yeah.
It might be toxic to us, but it might not be toxic to them.
But is it working?
I ain't got nothing to do with their relationship. If it's working,
I'm just saying, but is it really working?
Certain things won't work for me. No, we arguing every day, and we cussing each other out. That ain't normal.
Because it's a difference between something working and both parties having a high tolerance for something.
That's
you
true.
know what I mean?
Especially when you in love.
Having a high exactly, and sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's thinking you can't get better, so it's a self-esteem issue. So you stay with it and you build a high tolerance for, all of that stuff. So the question is it really working?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's go here. Oh, you got some more comments?
I do have.
Okay.
Did you hear the actual example that was given for his comment?
Okay.
It was
Byron.
Jody and Yvette for Corey McCann.
He said what now?
The example that he gave
Jody
was
and Yvette.
Jody and Yvette, which is probably the number one toxic relationship.
And
You think that was toxic?
And nothing was working
I
about
think
that.
it was
Jody
toxic.
But
Jody
they
was
got
toxic.
together at the end, I thought.
It was horrible, bro.
No,
It
they
was
had the
horrible.
other baby. You talking about baby boy?
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you to put a block on the phone?
Yeah, but then they had the other baby and they lived happily ever after.
I
Bro, that
thought
was a
Baby Boy
horrible
was a love
relationship.
story.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That was
saying. I
horrible.
thought that was toxic.
I'm worried
That
about
was
y'all,
regular
bro.
stuff.
I'm worried about y'all.
I think
That was a good relationship.
I mean, they was young though. They
Bro,
was,
he was
Now,
sleeping
Snoop
with
Dogg-
he was sleeping with her co-workers. She was messing with Snoop, who came out of jail. Like
Snoop
Bro,
took it. She didn't give it up. Snoop took
she
it.
had the nigga living there.
She had no choice.
Boy, listen, would you go for that?
She came home. That nigga was there.
Listen, man. Like
It was a love story to me.
I'm
You gotta
worried
go
about
through some
y'all.
things now.
I'm worried about
You got to
my
go through
brothers.
some things.
I'm
now.
worried about my brother.
You know, they early 20s. They had to go through some things. Man.
I am screaming. Okay, so we do got one more comment. It says, it comes from Jerk House. He says, it's like the more you allow from a person, the more they expect you to endure without issues.
Correct.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
agree.
So who
outside
fault
of
is
that,
that?
everybody is saying
Whoever
happy
ain't putting
Easter,
their foot
guys.
down.
Right.
Yes, outside of that, everybody's saying happy Easter. Welcome to the show. We got a couple
All right.
shout outs. Thank you, Wendy, for watching. Shakima,
Wendy
Lovely
Armstrong.
West.
All right, all right.
Elizabeth
Indeed.
Christina Rankins, thank you guys all for tuning in. Corey says Dwayne and Whitley is the worst toxic relationship ever. Whitley, baby, please. My ass.
Y'all think that was toxic?
No, I think Romeo and Juliet was toxic.
Got a point. Elaborate.
Got the Capulets and the Monacules and all them, they was beefing with the family and they decided to, that's why they killed each other at the end. So
At the end, they did.
I think Romeo and Juliet was very toxic.
Hey, you got a point, my brother.
Man,
Tearing down our community.
Tearing down our community.
so man, when we talking about like whose fault is it? I think one of the main issues that I consistently see as a barber and people coming to me and talking to me and sharing their stories and things of that nature, I see people break up with the person, but not the pattern.
Yes.
And so what happens is you see them get with the same type people.
Yeah, over
The
and
same
over and over
type
again.
people over and over and over again. So at some point, it's no longer those people's fault.
Mhm.
It's your fault.
Yeah, and you got to assume responsibility.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
for
and
continuing to
accountability.
choose the same type of people over and over and over again, man. So yeah, at some point.
Here's the thing with me, from what I've known. You get out of a toxic relationship, you have some of that toxicity inside you.
Yeah, you carrying that
Absolutely.
baggage.
And then, but see,
Absolutely.
when you don't know compassion, once somebody gives you compassion, you can't receive it. It's hard to digest it because you don't know.
You don't know what it is.
compassion. So here's the thing: I've been in a toxic relationship. I've been the toxic one. She's been the toxic one. You'll get with a woman that treats like a king and don't even want her. You thinking about that toxic girl. You thinking about that good and the drama. So you'd rather deal with the BS than be with somebody that's going to treat you like a king or queen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got a point. Because sometimes the one that's the most toxic be the one that's most loving too, in a weird
Exactly.
way. You know what I
crazy.
mean? So it's hard to escape it. But you got a point, Doc. It's that pattern for me. Like when a lot of people move on, they move on and still choose the same things, but they want different results. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But when do you come to realize when it's time to move on?
Listen,
You know what I'm saying?
I get tired really fast, bro. My tolerance level is mad low.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, you got to understand when it's time to move on.
Well,
right or wrong.
Seniority,
Because-
seniority plays a place in that.
No, go ahead. What you
Seniority plays a place in that. You know, you get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mhm.
So once you actually get comfortable, you get nervous.
Yeah.
Because you don't even like, oh, this is too good to be true. Because you want to accept greatness because you're just so used to being toxic.
Yeah.
You know?
You got it right. It's more like an addiction.
It's more
You-
like
you know
an
what I'm saying?
addiction. Yeah.
It is. It's an issue.
I like
so,
that.
A lot of people like, well, a lot of women like bad guys, a lot of men like bad girls. You know what I'm saying? And it's fun. It's risky.
It's fun.
You know what I'm saying? So even when, but when you get to the point of marriage and a serious relationship, then you really have to understand what you're looking for and stand on your boundaries. Because at the end of the day, once you keep allowing it to happen, then y'all start getting deeper in love and building a more of a foundation. Now y'all get into a serious relationship. Now y'all talking about engagement, and then you talking about marriage, and you just carrying that baggage all the way through. Now you having kids. Now they seeing the toxicness. Now it's a generation to generation after that. You know what I'm saying? The kids seeing it, and now it's passing over to them. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times,
Absolutely.
yeah, for sure. So I just feel like you got to nip it in the bud from jump. You got to know what you want. You got to know who you are, set your boundaries, and seek love knowing that. You know what I'm saying?
I could dig it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Let's go back to the comments one time.
So Ashley Good says, breaking up
That's
with the
fast.
person, but not the pattern. Gene Blackman.
Yeah.
Whitney Armstrong says, I think when toxicity exists, it's that we as individuals have to work on ourselves. You attract what you have inside of you.
That's a good point.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Elizabeth Christina Rankin says, preach. Mary Ann Graham says, many will validate unstable toxic behaviors for pleasures.
That's a fact.
Very,
Yeah.
very true. Shakima Lovely West says, good point, Dominique Davis. Whitney
King.
Armstrong says, you can't have different results if a person don't work on their own trauma.
Right,
Absolutely.
right,
That's very
right.
true. Shakima Lovely West says, I think they both play a part because the ones who dishing it out is taking the other for granted,
Mhm.
playing on emotions, and the one receiving on the receiving end is allowing it to happen.
Right.
Whitney Armstrong says, when you've healed, you usually have low tolerance for toxic. Therefore, you see the signs and you resist that opportunity of moving forward to a relationship.
Okay.
Caleb Johnson says, Keisha Herring checking in. Hello,
Keish,
everyone.
what up, though?
Keish, what
What
up?
up, Keish? I know you at work, baby. Thank you for tuning in.
Those are all the comments, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So think about this. We spoke about the toxic relationships, but you also got other numerous stuff. So you got toxic temptations. So you might be dealing with a person that's loving on you at home, but they have toxic temptations or toxic habits. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
can you explain that some more,
give you an
please?
example for men. I speak on men. I let the women speak for the women. But like for men, say for instance, if you're a gambler, you know what I'm saying? Or let's say toxic pleasures. If you have some type of an addiction, if it's strip club, if it's drugs, if it's alcohol, whatever it is, and it's rolling over to the household type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like toxic temptations will hinder a relationship as well. The relationship might not be toxic, but the toxic temptations or the toxic habits might play a big part in that relationship too. Do y'all agree in the audience?
Y'all agree? I think temptation.
So I can have a toxic temptation, a toxic problem, and still have a great relationship.
Absolutely not. Well, yes.
What's your thoughts?
Anybody want to speak on that? Come on, man, help us out. There she go. There she go.
Make sure you talk straight into the mic, please.
If you want to speak on the toxic relationship part.
60 seconds for your comments, Byron. Let's get him. He just got here. He just got here.
He need to digest a little bit.
They ain't warmed up yet.
Go take a drink. We got drinks back there. We got mimosas. That'll get y'all to talking. That'll get y'all to talking.
Exactly. So going back to the toxic relationship part, how can we put a stop to it if we feel like it's toxic, if we feel like it's going somewhere that it doesn't need to be? Let's talk about the positive sides. What's some things that we can do or practice to work on a toxic relationship that we already know is toxic?
Common ground. Common ground. Yeah, it's actually being childish and selfish. If I know something is toxic, one of my pleasures is toxic to my loved one, to my significant other, and if I don't choose to come to common ground with her, I'm the cancer of that relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen some people become toxic because their man or their woman is toxic just to keep you.
Yeah, it rubs off.
Yeah.
Because you're in that energy all day long. You know what I'm saying?
And then when you decide to digress, okay, quick example. If I'm toxic, then okay, my girl can't take me so much, so then she becomes toxic. Now it's my time to mature. Now it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Yeah,
now I done got my life together. I want to be a man. I don't want to hustle no more.
Right.
But I turned her out. So now I'm playing the victim, but the whole time I got to hold myself accountable because I'm the macro level of the toxicity. You feel me?
Right. And that's what I was saying earlier. It's the same thing. Go ahead to the clips. You
can't lose yourself in a relationship because you're going to miss you. You at one point in time, you're going to go, wow, what happened to me? Sometimes you just need to be by yourself to collect your thoughts. It's an overwhelming thing, especially if the other person is making you feel responsible for their happiness. That's a toxic relationship if you have to be responsible for somebody else's happiness.
Yeah. So let's talk about that part. Being responsible for somebody else's happiness. You going through hell trying to please the other person. Maybe because you don't even want to start an argument. Maybe because you want to see it work. Maybe because you love that person that much. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Speak for you. How you say it, Gene? Speak for yourself.
But I'm just saying, like how Steve was saying that, you know, if it's a toxic situation and, you know, you just staying in it just to please the other person, that only makes, like you said, Dominique, it makes it more toxic.
I think it's ludicrous for somebody to take advice from a cat who has like 7 failed marriages.
Damn, he got 7?
I'm just saying, like, Steve Harvey, like, he had to been talking about himself. You know what I mean?
I'm sure he was.
Like, that dude crazy, man. So I don't take nothing that Steve Harvey says seriously, man. He's a comedian and an entertainer, and that's what I take him for. But I do feel like that sometimes we have been conditioned to believe that our mate is responsible for making us happy. And most of the time we weren't happy within ourselves by ourselves.
Right.
And then we go into a relationship and then we expect them to be, you know, to have this magical power and to make us happy. And I think that's it's crazy. And it's not practical. But But I don't think the other person is responsible for making someone happy.
It's actually an
Most
oxymoron. You're right.
You said that part is oxymoron.
It's definitely an oxymoron.
Yeah, you got to learn how to make yourself happy, people. You got to learn how to make yourself happy. And if you got to take some time to work on yourself, you know what I'm saying, in an honest way, it's definitely needed. You know what I'm saying? Take that time for yourself versus carrying that baggage from relationship to relationship to relationship. Sometimes you got to take a break on relationships and work on yourself to find a true you.
Absolutely.
Is there different levels and lanes of toxicity as well, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because because sometimes love can be toxic.
See,
That's what I'm
me
saying, the
that
toxic
sounds like a
pleasures.
person who is trying to make it okay. So in trying to make it okay, I'm gonna give it different levels. And at the end of the day, no, and I'm not being funny. I'm just saying. Like, so sometimes we literally have a way of trying to make things okay or less painful.
Mhm.
So what we'll do is we'll try to categorize it. Well, this wasn't as bad as this, but at the end of the day, it was still toxic.
Right.
You know, so I feel like most of the time when it starts getting toxic or consistently toxic, probably need to go ahead and dip.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing. Example. So suppose a cat got diabetes. Let's say a man got diabetes, right? But he can't get, he got diabetes, high cholesterol, and all that. But his wife love him so much, she's still cooking him fried chicken, still making him lemonade because she don't want him mad. Is she toxic to him?
To his health.
Is that toxic? It's because she's killing him.
Yeah. To his
So
health, I
here's
would
the
say.
thing.
Because,
To be in a, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say because she's doing it out of love. I understand that part.
Exactly.
But she's killing him softly on the health side.
So isn't love toxic at times?
That's
Yeah,
some old.
That's deep.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah, like. So my thing is, why is she still cooking them fried chicken?
Because she loves him, Jane.
And she know he
or
loves.
is she unaware of what she's doing is being more harmful than pleasing to him? Like, if
So I think she knows.
if she's unaware,
You saying it like she knows everything.
She knows, but she don't make them happy.
I can't deem that toxic if she, you know what I'm saying? Like, if she doesn't really know, she hasn't really studied, she doesn't really understand, money's
Or
limited.
or if she understands everything, but she just loves him so much, she want him happy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
Right.
he's at a stage 4, stage 5 or something. You know what I'm saying? And she loves him that much, like, baby, I'ma still take you. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. And you can't really get that toxic.
I think that's.
But that's
wild
hypothetically
at that point.
speaking.
Yeah, you know what I
most
mean?
definitely.
That's one of those rare ones.
Yeah.
We have a clip, audio clip from the audience. They would like to be played.
Dope.
Let's get it.
Let's go.
I can hear it. Hold on one second.
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. Let Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course you lie to me. And I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else?
DJ, cut the record.
You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile.
Well, I can understand that lady was saying.
She said, Byron.
Go
Byron, come to
Go ahead and play the clip, Byron.
Come on, man. Talk straight into it.
Hello. So the clip was Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin. And what she's saying is lie to me. And he was saying, I love you. I can't lie to you. And she said, absolutely, you can lie to me. You lie to everybody else. You go to work and they think you're a wonderful person. Your friends think you're wonderful. Home and you're shitty to me. So lie to me because you lie to them. That's toxic. Your boys, you hang out with your boys, you can loan them money, but I dollars for gas, $20 lie to everyone else, but because I get the nasty you, I get the toxic you. Lie to me because you lie to them.
That's the problem.
Many of us do that.
A lot of people do that. You're right about that. We always hurt the ones that we love because they can take our bullshit.
Yeah. But that's interesting though. She said lie to me because you lie.
So have you been that way in your prior relationships? I mean, that's a legit question.
Let's talk, man.
I'll just say ouch. I feel So actually, I'm fairly consistent. If I'm an asshole in public, I'm an asshole at home. I'm fairly
Super
consistent.
facts. Super facts.
You know, consistent with that. But true, I think at times we give.
That's a fact.
Right.
Tested. Okay. You've been going. Okay, I got spit on it. Careful.
Don't
Pause, Byron. Pause. Pause, Byron.
Nothing.
Pause, Byron.
No did.
Well, petty. But we'll do that. We will support strangers before we'll support our own. That is a toxic trait that we don't talk enough about, is how we will have love for everyone else and won't have love for those who have love for you and have shown you grace and mercy, fed you this, that, and the other. So that's a big part of our community. The average $1 lasts less than 7 days in the Black community. In the Asian community, 7
hours.
7 hours, right? And
Yeah.
right, in 25
It's actually
minutes.
6 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours. So it was a week. You know, now Asian communities, other non-POC communities, is less than weeks. So that says a lot about who we are. Why are we toxic to talking to each other?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Gotcha.
Most definitely. I want to hear from the ladies, though. Ladies, give us an example of your toxicness.
Gene.
I'm not toxic. No lady in here experienced toxicness from a man that you learned about yourself, anything.
Wait, now toxicity can also come from your mama.
Yeah, for sure. It could be family. It could be anything. As a parent, it could be a lot of toxicness.
Mama here don't say nothing because you got to go back home with your mom.
I think we have some
We're gonna go to the comments.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So Wendy Armstrong says, if you have toxic temptations that you aren't able to control, it will also hinder relationship growth.
Right. That's what I was saying, Wendy. Thank you for that. Back up.
Caleb Johnson says, toxic equals no accountability.
Toxicness equals no accountability.
No accountability.
On both parts. Yeah, gotcha.
Mary Ann Graham says, stop having sex with toxic. I'm thinking she means people.
Soul ties.
Yeah.
Right. That's a fact.
Y'all believe in soul ties?
Yes, I definitely
I
do.
it's a word, but yeah, I do believe in spirits. Yeah.
I
mean, here's the thing. It's called.
I mean, it's
we're gonna go back to
energy.
the comments, but and it's a word. It's called emotional contagion. Means I'm contagious to your emotions. Yeah, and it's called repetitive behavior.
I totally disagree with that.
Behavior.
I totally disagree with that.
I do believe in the spirits. I mean, you sleep.
How you think of that, Doc?
Because I think so. I think there's a whole community of people who have sex just for recreation.
Okay.
And I don't believe that there's any type of emotions attached unless they allow themselves to have some type of emotional attachment. But I think people who do not have recreational sex tend to think that there's an emotional attachment every time they have sex with people. But I don't think that that's the same across the board with people.
Well, I can't persuade you into this. I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. I can't persuade you into this, but and it's all about a belief. I firmly believe that spirits can jump in and out of people. If I tongue kiss a girl or have intercourse with that girl, I feel like it's soul ties.
I think being in a company of people
that is
will create more of a soul tie than actually having sex.
You're right about that.
I agree with what all y'all
That's why
saying,
people
though, to a
hang
certain
together
degree.
and act alike and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's what we're saying too. But it's just the physical form. Like I just feel like spirits do jump. I feel like if you deal with numerous people, it is soul ties. If you having sex with numerous people, I feel like spirits do interact with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's why women change their hair all the time.
That's what they would.
You get a woman that change their hair all the time, every different color.
Oh yeah, every different. Yeah.
Not too much on the ladies.
I do not agree with this foolishness.
Gee, how you feel? How you feel?
I do not agree with
if
this
a woman
foolishness.
keep changing her hair, she dye her hair purple one day, she dye her hair gold, blonde, red, white, blue.
Yeah. There,
Man, she got a problem.
there may be some issues. There may not be any issues. You know, people change their hair for different reasons, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to automatically make that a problem for her.
It's dangerous.
They threw me off track with that one, but I don't know.
Threw me off too.
Go to the comments.
All right. Felicia Davis says, William Hussey, that part about what you said can cause major problems in a relationship, causing the relationship to become toxic.
Right.
All right. Corey McCann says, if there is no remedy for the toxicity, or at the bare minimum, an actual legitimate attempt to remedy the situation, we may need to reevaluate the dynamic of your place on the relationship.
One more time. Say it one.
Okay. If there is no remedy for the toxicity, or at the bare minimum, an actual legitimate attempt to remedy the situation, we may need to reevaluate the dynamic of your place in the relationship.
But is there really a remedy
for toxicity?
Like, is it, or should you just walk away, save yourself?
Can you elaborate, Corey?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Shout out to the live audience as well.
Yeah,
Audience.
Especially
live
ones that participate.
So to answer the question directly, yes, I do believe that there are remedies to toxicity in any aspect, albeit an intimate relationship, business, partnership, etc. I think the most formidable remedy is communication. Someone that may have dealt with toxicity in said past relationships, in the new one, you can discuss those things that were toxic to you, or vice versa, the other person. So that's the most formidable one. The second one, of course, is actually taking, like, once they state what that trigger may be, the trigger to that particular trauma, then the other person, both parties have to work on that particular thing that caused that trauma. So yes, I do believe that there are remedies, and if the other parties aren't willing to, at least as aforementioned, make an attempt to remedy the situation, then you got to reevaluate your space. Because I understand sometimes people may want to fight it out, or they may want to try to maintain the relationship, but you got to think about the dynamic of toxicity. Think about the periodic table: hydrochloric acid, nicotine, carbon monoxide. Those are things that are toxic. They look to destroy. They don't build up. So if that thing, as the clip stated, like with Steve Harvey clip, if it's continuing to kill you and there's no actual remedy, because what's the remedy to carbon dioxide? It's oxygen. You know what I'm saying? What's the remedy to fire? It's H2O. So again, if you're not making that at least at the bare minimum to attempt to remedy that thing, okay, well, maybe we need to at best bow out gracefully. We ain't got to be ugly, but we need to bow out gracefully. At least evaluate that. That's why I stand with it.
Yeah, so like in a toxic relationship, hold the mic, Corey. So what's the remedy to domestic violence? Or cheating. You got some relationships where people are dealing with this in a toxic situation, but it done got so overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? And they just don't know how to walk away. You know what I'm saying? Or they love that man or that woman so much that cheating, they kind of look past, or they look the other way. You know what I'm saying? With the violence, I'm sure it's like the best thing is to leave. But at the end of the day, what's some other remedies that they can take?
Well, I mean, everything is different. Every situation is different. And so you have to evaluate them as such. I mean, like, for some things, it may require some counseling, you know what I'm saying? But for some other people, they may not necessarily be able to handle said actions, you know what I'm saying? But if they're not able to handle that, then that boundary has to be respected, because they don't want to lose themselves in the process. You see what I'm saying? Or they don't want to further endanger the relationship.
Right. So if you're in a relationship to where one partner is cheating, right? And do you believe in that? Or do you feel that way? Not do you believe in it, but because some relationships become toxic, like you said earlier, after a certain incident or a certain situation. So if a person was cheated on and they took the person back, whether a man or a woman, and they stayed, but down the line, they couldn't handle it emotionally, or they need to know everywhere that person was going, or they checking on them now all the time now. You know what I'm saying? Because things done changed. You know what I'm saying? It's not that they're insecure, it's just they've been hurt. So now they want to protect themselves, but it becomes toxic. You see what I'm saying? So elaborate on that a little bit more.
Well, for me, toxicity is a pattern.
Yes, that's what we were saying earlier.
There's a difference between a pattern and a mistake. That's just like if you look at things from, and this is no disrespect to anybody's religious philosophy, but for me, being a practicing Christian, right? So if I look at the dynamic of sin, there's a difference between a pattern and lifestyle of that same thing and making an error. That error can be corrected. That's like if I cut you, that error, that wound, that wound, it can be healed eventually. But if it's something intrinsically, like a cancer, then that's going to destroy you eventually. It's going to lead to your eventual demise.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So in short, there's a difference between an error and actual patterns of things. That's not to say that error should be justified. That's not to say that at all. But there is a difference in hindsight.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good. That's
anything
good
from the
there.
ladies?
That's great.
Or y'all still gonna be
I like
quiet and
that.
let us keep rambling? The ladies is gonna let us have our way today, Doc.
Speaking.
Hey, say it look like we win.
Definitely win.
Ladies, if y'all want to say something in the
Definitely
comments, say something in the comments, please.
I think
That's
I
right.
think
This
the,
season two, baby.
Season 1. That's right.
I
Got
think the
that
most
right.
toxic gender has spoken.
You said who?
The most toxic gender has spoken.
Oh, you saying the men?
Yes.
Men are not the toxic ones.
You the one play Steve Harvey.
Exactly.
Is this a Monique?
Exactly.
Good one, dog. Good one. Good one. Let's go to the comments. Sis.
All right. So Wendy Armstrong says, Mary Ann Graham says, stop offering benefits to toxic people.
Fact.
Wendy Armstrong says, you are responsible for your own happiness to bring into the relationship. You have to already know yourself and be happy with you. Travis Gilmore says, you love that person enough to leave. You got to go. It only gets worse. Crystal Harrison says, good evening. Great topic.
Good evening.
Yes.
Hey, Chris.
Latasha Davis Walker says, she is dangerous for him.
Who was she talking about?
Can you give us a little bit more on that, please?
Pull
Yes,
up,
Latasha. Can't
Pull
wait
up,
for your
Ty.
comment. Wendy Armstrong says, if you aren't currently in a relationship and you have healing to do, you have to work on your healing before being in a relationship or bringing someone else into your world of being unhealed.
Yeah, that's what we said earlier.
Yes. Crystal Harrison says, love is never toxic. People are toxic.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Yes.
Who was that?
That was Crystal Harrison.
Oh, Crystal. What's up, Crystal?
Pull up.
Dominique says, pull up.
That's toxic. That's toxic.
This is the most, listen, we live in a world where everybody's an expert in something.
Nah, for
I
real.
am sick of it. I am sick of it.
We love you, Crystal. We love you. Thank you for your opinion. Jessica West says, hurt people. You have to heal from past traumas as well as mommy daddy issues and love yourself before you can truly love yourself, before you can love yourself.
Let me ask y'all something. Can two hurt people love each other?
Absolutely.
Hold on, wait. She wasn't finished with
Yeah, but
elaborate.
But loving each other and having a productive relationship are two different things.
Explain a little bit. What you mean?
I mean, I just think that two broken people or two people, who, may have been hurt and have some trauma, can trauma bond and, figure out how to try to help each other feel better through their trauma or whatever the case may be. But does that mean it's a productive relationship? Does that mean that it's healthy? Does that mean that it's good?
Here's the thing, Doc. I know some crackheads that's more happy in a relationship than some millionaires.
I do too.
Oh, I agree with that.
I know some folks that's sleeping under the bridge that's more happy than people that's in a mansion.
I do too.
You got a point.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Crystal Harrison says, I love that interview. And I think she was talking about the Steve Harvey one. Wendy Armstrong said, I heard that clip before. I definitely enjoyed hearing her perspective.
It's the devil.
Crystal Harrison says she basically saying if you can go out and fake it for the white man, come home and fake it for me too then.
But where's that gonna get us? If
Exactly.
she was saying, if he keep lying to her, and you could elaborate on it too, Byron. But I was just saying, I didn't understand what she was getting at. Like, if he comes home and lied to her, is that going to help the relationship, or she was just being an asshole and like you lie to everybody else, just calling him out on his shit? Like, what was?
It's interesting that you didn't say the word accountability. She was lying, being an asshole. She's holding him accountable. I see what you're doing. You fronting everywhere else. Why keep it real with me? Because you love me? To hell with love, lie to me.
So she was done with the relationship at that point.
No, no, he was saying this, I can't lie to you because I love you. Well, hell, if me getting the toxicity and abuse is love, then don't love me, lie to me, because I see you showing love everywhere else, and that's not you, and you're lying to them, so lie to me. Why do I have to get the brunt of it? Why do I have to get the fist? Why do I have to get the negativity?
But why?
Outside the store,
but instead of her saying that and saying lie to me, why don't she just leave the toxic situation?
That's why I'm trying to feel like what's the end result that she was looking, because we didn't see the rest of the interview, so I don't know where they was getting.
Yeah, no, I definitely get the point, but I'm saying, like, why wouldn't she just leave? Because that fixes that situation if she just leaves.
Well, by saying fixing it, does she have to endure that characteristic? No, but just leaving without speaking on the behavior, he moves on to another victim. That without the accountability, this is at a crossroad. This is an intervention. This is your behavior. Either you can own it or you don't have to own it. But I'm letting you know that you are lying to everybody, including yourself.
Assuming
that
he
keeping it real
didn't,
with me.
And sometimes I feel like that's where we waste our time and our energy trying to explain to somebody that is a certain way, like we don't know, or like they don't know that they're acting that way and they're behaving that way.
Some people don't.
I do 50-50. Some people don't. Some people do.
They may not know the damage or the level of the damage that it's causing to you, but they know what they're doing.
I don't know, because a number of men don't know they got bad sex because women just haven't told them. So they just keep moving from victim to victim because nobody ain't telling them that they did bad.
But they keep getting it.
But what may be bad? What may be bad for one? What may be bad for one woman may not be bad for the next, or what may be bad for two women, the next two may love it.
But without the conversation, like you said, they're not being aware. If they still keep getting victims or women interested, and no one's saying, you know what, you it's something wrong down there. It's something, you got something wrong. It ain't working right. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I feel that women are forced to not necessarily be honest with their emotions. Like in that clip, which is a part of a larger conversation, Nikki in that scenario is being very transparent and accountability and saying, this is how I feel. So
but she's being more than transparent. She's asking him to change because she's saying, lie to me. Treat me the same way you treat everybody else. So that's beyond just saying, I want to tell you how you're acting. Now she's saying, now I want you to change how you act. That's not a win situation.
She wants to know that's consistent.
She said lie to me.
Can be consistent. You're lying to everyone else.
Right. But what I'm saying is you're telling somebody whose heart is conditioned a certain way to treat you a certain way, you're asking them to change. Leave them alone. Just leave them alone.
She like that toxic.
Be who you are.
And she ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna tell you why.
She wasn't going nowhere from the jump.
Listen. When somebody in a toxic relationship, I don't give a damn what we preach to these folks, man or woman. They ain't gonna leave until they ready. They will risk their whole family relationship, friendship, more or less job. Hopefully it doesn't get that bad, but we can talk till the sun come, bro. She ain't going nowhere. In fact, he got a wing for her breast and thighs.
Listen,
his kids in his, but you get what I'm saying? If I got a wing for her breast and thighs, y'all can talk till the sun come. Ain't nobody else got no wing for her breast and thighs. So she ain't gonna fly nowhere.
I get it.
But it also becomes about investment. If you listen to for example, if you listen to the lyrics from Lauryn Hill's X Factor, that is one of the most toxic songs that made out there. If you go back and listen to the lyrics, no matter how far deep we go, you always seem to let me know that this is crazy. Listening to the lyrics is a whole toxic battle. If you check it out on YouTube, the acoustic of it, because they got the beat. So when you listen to it, just the words, it is extremely toxic. And she's acknowledging it, but also acknowledging this is a cycle.
People are afraid to be alone because society has made being alone seem so bad. It makes people feel like something is wrong with them. They make it seem like, like, why can't you get anybody? Like, being alone was one of the best things for me. And then when I met someone that I really liked, then I took my happy self into that relationship. but it was nothing wrong with being alone. And I think people are really afraid of being alone.
Most definitely. And I think women are very scared to be alone.
Men
are
too.
too.
No, I'm
Men
trying to get the
too.
women to talk, Doc. That's
Man,
all I'm trying to do.
They done.
Y'all gonna say something?
They done.
Y'all, thank you. Finally, we got a lady. Go ahead.
That was actually me, because even when I first started dating, I never ever lived by myself. So this is actually the first time I'm living by myself, learning how to love myself and be by myself. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm loving it because it's showing me how to love myself more and invest. I'm starting to invest in myself instead of my relationships.
Better talk that talk. See, that went hard. I love it.
So let me ask you this. Before you actually got to that place, were you afraid of what it looked like?
Yes.
Not knowing?
Yes.
Okay.
What were you afraid of? Elaborate a little bit on. Or one or two things, yeah.
I guess even though I know I can handle stuff on my own, it was just the point of doing it on my own. So I'm used to, like, I was raised to always take care of people. So that's all I know how to do is take care of people and be in the presence of other people. I never, ever was in the presence of just being by myself.
Wow.
And it's men out there that prey on desperate women like that. Not saying you were desperate, but you were desperate for a feeling. So it's men out there that prey on people that are desperate. You know what I'm saying?
Stop telling your business.
Is that toxic?
Stop telling your business.
That ain't my business. I'm
just messing with you.
Hold on.
I'm just messing with you.
I also think that men prey on women who loves hard, because I'm the type of woman, when I love you to the core. I'm going to fight to the day I die. If I feel like this relationship going to work, I'm going to fight in this relationship. So a lot of men do prey on strong women, and they don't know when they have a strong woman in their life. They rather have a weak woman than a strong woman in their life.
Y'all rather have a weak man than have a strong man.
I actually have two more questions
You
for
can
you.
control the narrative.
I have two more questions for you. How long have you been out of your situation?
Since January.
Since January. Do you look back? Congratulations for that. Do you look back and say, "Dag, I wish I would have done this sooner"?
Yes.
We all do.
Cool.
What kept you there?
The love that I had for that person, and
so love can be toxic.
And what I saw.
You remember we said people toxic, not love. You remember we had a comment about this. So love could be toxic.
It can be, and I saw more in him that he saw in himself.
Oh, now that's deep. Yeah, that's toxic too.
Because it's like I had to get to the point where I can't change you. You have to change for yourself. But I can't love you until I learn how to love myself.
Come on now, you better preach.
And here's the thing. When a man preys on a woman like that, okay, the biggest danger for that man is when that woman falls in love with herself, then fall deeply in love with herself. So that little ass dude, whether size or whatever ego, what you looked at as a big guy, he becomes a little guy. Those problems don't move you anymore because you fell in love with yourself. Then you fell deeply in love with yourself. Now he's getting intimidated, feeling like you acting funny. No, he's just not the common denominator of your happiness anymore. So,
but you know something else to piggyback off what you say, when we realized that the person that did leave or got left on, then you ever seen those situations where the person want to tighten up, they want to call more now, they want to do all the things they did
happens all the time
in the relationship, and then the person might take them back.
Exactly. You listen. One thing about cyanide, you know what cyanide is? Cyanide is a deadly poison, but it's sweet. Cyanide has a sweet taste. You ever watch Jim Jones? Anyway, I said it to say this: when you leave somebody and you done got rid of them out your system, as soon as y'all touch skin again, like why I just hit that, or why I get this nigga that cool. Now you right back where you started from.
It's easy to double back.
Yeah, it's easy to double back, but then your mama tell you
relapse.
Relapse, right? You never
was toxic, but that thing
it happens all the time because that person ain't gonna change. You just miss that feel. You miss it.
That's it.
You miss that
used
feel.
To
but once you start loving yourself in that feel, that nigga know that sex is not a common denominator. I can't bust her down because I got kids in here. You can't bust her down and it's gonna go back to regular. Nah. And another thing, once a man get to taste his own medicine, that's when we fall in love. You will call me 1,000 times. I'm like, what you want? Then when you stop calling me, I'm like, why ain't you call me? So now I want to act. Now I want to act right. I'm 44,
that's
so
what I was saying.
I've been the nemesis and I've been the victim. I'm talking about the nemesis side. So when I got to taste my own medicine, it didn't feel so good, but it was good for me.
Can I get some hand claps, please?
I feel like if you love me the way you say you love me, you should have never left me in the first place. So why would I double back to you?
What you mean he should have never left?
Because you love him so much that you put up with all that shit for I don't know how many years. It's the same reason why you would slip up, double back, and relapse.
Right.
To a degree.
That's
Let's
true.
go back to the
That's
comments
true.
right
All
here.
right, guys. If you want to see the full clip that we played earlier of Nikki Giovanni, it is in the Conversations That Matter Facebook group.
And I encourage you to not go back and listen to the Steve Harvey clip.
I second to that.
Listen,
That one is
I don't
not
know
in the
why.
Facebook
I don't know why women are still listening to that dude. It's crazy.
Light skinned
Also,
niggas back in style. Quit
I
hating
also
on
put this
them.
in the comment, but some people don't know that they was in a toxic relationship till they get out of that relationship.
Oh, that happens every day.
There we go.
Me,
Super
Yes.
facts. I will admit,
Yeah.
like, for myself, the one toxic relationship that I was in, I didn't realize that I had lost myself until I got out of that relationship.
Right.
And I was like, damn, like
That's
I
what we
wasn't
said
even,
earlier.
I wasn't even
But you-
Gene in this relationship.
You know something I just thought about when you said that?
Right.
We be claiming that the relationship was toxic and we'll put it on. And when I say I'm talking about all sides. We'll look at it like the other person was the toxic one. And then they people thinking you was the toxic one. So everybody thinking everybody toxic, but like Byron said, nobody's taking accountability. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know,
yeah,
we
I can own that I wasn't myself. You know, I had to turn into the, I felt like I got tired of the nice guy getting played.
Yeah.
So I turned into a monster.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that person can turn you into a monster too. Like you
well,
said earlier.
it was my choice.
Dominique was saying earlier.
She couldn't turn me into anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was my choice to be a monster because I felt like in order for me to stay there, I had to match what she was giving me when I really could have just left.
Right.
You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying?
You're right.
Right.
Oh, give her the microphone.
Heard.
What's your name, young lady?
DeMonica.
Hey, DeMonica.
What you got, DeMonica?
Glad to have you
Can the trauma someone went through get confused for toxicity?
Repeat that one more time, please.
Can the trauma somebody went through get mistaken for toxicity?
here. The trauma.
I can like tell you an example.
Okay.
Okay, like somebody I know, like, so his mom had got really sick when he was younger, so she would like leave him outside and like do really bad things. So like the person he's with, I don't know if like he like acts this way out of toxicity or like he really just doesn't know because like how he was brought up and everything he went through. If it's like trauma or is it like really like he's just toxic or is it his trauma that makes him act that way?
I think it could be a little bit of both. I think what you're saying is, can past trauma affect the relationship or how you date or how you love, kind of thing?
Or why is he acting the way he's acting? Was it past trauma? Is he
I
just,
definitely think past trauma affects the way you love a person. It's just like how we were saying earlier, when you take that baggage from relationship to relationship, past trauma or how you grew up, or, you know, some people have been molested. Some people have been treated wrong. Some people, mothers was terrible to them. Some people, fathers beat them. Some people seen they mother get abused and beaten. So I think a lot of past trauma affects the way that we do love or look at relationships or the opposite sex to a certain degree. But like Gene said, when I asked him, did she turn him into a monster? He took full accountability. Like he said, and said, no, she didn't change me. I chose to become a monster. So we still have that free will to choose, even though I think past traumas does affect the way we love. But I'll let Byron elaborate a little bit. Unless you want to go. You got something?
I was letting Doc go. You good?
Go ahead, Byron.
So the first thing that came to my mind with that example of a man-child whose father left them, and then the mother choosing to overcompensate and show pity. And then while with that tantrums and the acting out, what happens is they grow up, they will act crazy with women and still expect women to stay because mama did. And that's rooted in my dad left and I acted out, and there was never any discipline or direction for my behavior. My behavior was tolerated, and I still, you know, got this, that, and the other. There were no consequences for that action. I was pitied, and I wasn't empowered. And so then it becomes, well, I'll throw this, I'll break a window, I'll bust the door, this, that, and the other. Why you leave? Why you go? And then it's like, well, now I got abandonment issues because of my daddy. Well, you got abandonment issues from your daddy. You got spoiled and lack of accountability from your mother, and that part has not been addressed and uplifted. And so that's the thing about how trauma can turn into toxicity. It's because it's unchecked behavior. And to the young lady over here was talking about the comment that Hussey made about love can be toxic. In that scenario, I feel that love can be toxic. I feel the absence of love, because women and men get caught up in trying to be everything in a relationship that they miss themselves. And so the absence of loving me, trying to love you enough, trying to love you through whatever hurt or issue you had. Oh, my last girl cheated on me. So I'm going to make sure anytime you call, I answer the phone. I'm going to turn my locator on, tag in my purse so I can go this way and that way so you know where I'm at all times. You know I'm being faithful, trying to be consistent and affirming. That still doesn't help heal that person. That just makes you ultra accountable. So the absence of love is what's toxic. And we started at conception. We started with our children. What she said was versus nurture. Nurturing environment is what she couldn't think about herself. It had to be about others. And that's raising the mentality a lot of women are. We touched on this a couple weeks ago about one of the most toxic people in your life is your parent figure, particularly with women. You know, you're nothing without a man. Learn that behavior from mothers and grandmothers. That's toxic. And they're trying to break that by labeling themselves as independent. I don't need a man. It doesn't mean they don't want one, but I don't need one to define my value.
Got you.
Appreciate
We got to
that,
go
bro.
back to the comments. Go to the comments, sis.
All right. So Latasha Davis Walker says, my toxic trait is I only know how to act like a wife. So I have to be very mindful when I date because it can be way too much. And she also said, and my expectations are too high because of it.
And she feel like those are toxic traits?
Yes, because I don't think everybody deserves a wife out of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you give a person that who deserves that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody.
Yeah, that goes with sleeping around too. Like you got to think about it. Go ahead to the next one because we run out of time.
Crystal Harrison says, I don't change my hair color, but the styles, LOL, I feel attacked. Byron,
it's just the character.
I feel you, Crystal. Byron Gladden said, women changing their hair isn't toxic, but men not changing their draws is toxic. Just throwing that out there.
Then we got beef.
Brian Thompson.
I wouldn't know.
That's just nasty.
Brian Thompson says, a toxic relationship to me, if y'all really don't like each other and y'all know y'all shouldn't be together, but y'all still stay together because the sex is good.
That's the guy from the hood. Yo, good point, Brian.
Yeah.
For real.
Crystal Harrison says, sadly, both. That's
as hell.
Crystal Harrison says, sadly, both parties are responsible. The person who causes harm and the person who allows / enables it. Ashley Good says, I think the whole toxicity thing goes so deep. From your upbringing to beliefs to your environment to your experiences to your mental health, etc. So it's definitely levels and so many layers to being toxic. We have to start with ourselves, then build our relationships, set boundaries, etc. We have to also be mindful and willing to build relationships based on a healthy and positive foundation. Overall, we can even start by asking ourselves and others, are we really aware of what? And that's all it says.
That's good though. That's good.
All
right. Next we have Malik Good Vibes. He says most definitely different actions for different situations depending on the people and their circles. Latasha Davis Walker says, LOL, I'm an overthinker. That's my toxic trait. She got another one.
Understand that.
And I'm a Capricorn. I actually just deleted my first comment saying why I was toxic.
That's Latasha.
Yeah, we like it, Latasha. Yeah.
I like Latasha. Pull up, man.
Pull up, Latasha. Everybody pull up.
I want to see y'all here.
Brian Thompson says, y'all not compatible, but y'all still stay together. Malika Bob says also toxic may look different depending on the person.
For sure.
Byron Gladden says black men answers are overrated. Always want to be listened and understood, but lack ability to be reciprocal.
I agree with that.
Shamisha Robinson says some people don't know that they were in a toxic relationship until they are not in a relationship anymore.
True.
Yes. Latasha Davis Walker says the woman cooking the bad food for the diabetic man is dangerous for him. Comment was when he was speaking in that.
She's saying when we was talking about it, yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Two hurt people will form a trauma bond. Came from Wendy Armstrong.
Trauma bond.
Trauma bond.
I like the way that sound. I don't know if I like it, but I like the way
not good.
Yeah.
Like that. It will leave you hurt and broken. Ended for your life. Malika Vibe says 2 hurt people definitely can love each other. I feel that it could definitely work and be the drive that keeps the relationship together. That's a different
In a funny
opinion.
way, I do too.
I don't agree with Malika.
Wait a minute.
I agree
Repeat
with that,
that,
though. I
please.
agree with that.
think-
Repeat that.
He says, Malika Vibe says 2 hurt people definitely can love each other. I feel that it could definitely work and be the drive that keeps the relationship together.
He was saying 2 hurt people.
Yeah, I got you.
So the trauma bond is what's keeping them together.
We should have had 2 toxic people that's been together for 48 years. Mama, where you at, Mama? Daddy, where you at? I just left y'all. It can work.
Listen.
Yeah, it can. I don't give
It
a
can
damn. I
work.
think it can.
Okay, all right. Crystal Harrison says sometimes 2 hurt people can heal each other depending on how
like
their
that.
hurt has affected them and if they don't hurt each other.
Yeah,
I don't know about that, man. I don't
think 2 hurt people can't heal each other.
I don't think anybody can heal you.
Well, I'm saying they can heal themselves by experiencing each other. If I can share with a woman my traumas, she can share with me her traumas. I can relate to her traumas and help her with her traumas. Maybe I'm her strength and her weakness, and she's my strength and my time of weakness. Like she can understand my trauma to a degree to help me, and I can understand hers in a degree to help hers. That's all I'm saying.
I think
it's not impossible.
I think you can get to a place where you have faith in that person, and then you allow yourself to be healed. But I don't think that person can heal you.
I think
not necessarily that person.
I think that's why people stay in relationships or quote unquote toxic situations, thinking that they can love them to the place of healing, and their tolerance is way higher than it should be.
I disagree.
Yeah, I'm just saying as far as
talk to me. Give me your perspective.
Well, all I was saying was more so on the mind frame of helping me with my traumas and me helping that woman with her traumas. But as far as the relationship and having a productive relationship, it's gonna take both of us. It's gonna take me to heal. It's gonna take her to heal. But in the meantime, if she's helping me or helping me heal myself with my traumas, that's a blessing to the relationship because it's only helping me and I'm only helping her and we're being stronger. So once we come back together and try to work on the relation, not come back together, but once we focus on the relationship, it's that common ground, I believe, because we done settled the traumas. Now we can focus on a productive and healthy relationship. Go ahead.
That's all I was saying.
Yeah, peace. Just like that, P.
Yeah, but
just like that.
But helping doesn't mean healing.
Yeah,
sometimes helping looks like easing, making things comfortable, or making your trauma or your pain comfortable. That's not healing.
No.
That ain't what I'm saying.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So I'm only speaking to I'm only speaking to the point that other people can't heal you.
I get you, Doc.
Oh yeah. We understand.
That's all I'm saying.
We understand.
I can help somebody. The Bible said we overcome by our testimony. So I can help you by being transparent with you.
Right.
I can help you by saying I understand and then sharing something that happened with me.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can help you by having a shoulder to cry on, having a voice to listen to. Having an ear, you know what I'm saying? That's how I can help you by letting you know that I've been there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right,
and I feel like that's help, but not healing. You know what I'm saying? That's help.
Right. Well, it's helping to heal.
That's help.
For me, it to happen. I'm speaking facts, and I was able to heal from that person being there for me, to a degree. Yeah.
I got it.
Go ahead, back to the comments, sis.
Malika Vibe says, heal each other for the better. Sometimes they can help each other to get through their hurts.
All right.
Crystal Harrison says, what usually happens in real life, people will put on their best face for a stranger and come home and treat the person that's closest to them like ish because they feel they can be themselves but not know how to be vulnerable to the one they love instead of do the opposite.
For sure.
All right.
You take 2 more, sis, and then we wrapping it with the final thoughts.
Okay. Winnie Armstrong says she doesn't want to leave. She's just saying, I'm fed up with your treating everyone else on the outside, lie to them, protecting their emotions, just come on and lie to me, protect my emotions too.
Right. I'm going to stay in it.
Okay.
It ain't working, but I'm going to stay in it.
Let's wrap it up with Latasha Davis Walker.
Tasha Davis Walker.
Tasha on the road.
She got the final comments, y'all.
She says, sometimes we have to accept a person does not have the capacity to be the person we want or need, and we are not the person to get them there. It is hard to swallow, but it is okay. I had to accept that my ex did not have the capacity and was incapable of being what I needed, and that the next woman may get him there, and it was okay.
That was perfect.
Yeah, that was definitely perfect.
That was
Yeah.
a dope last comment.
And I think a lot of people scared to say that because they don't want to see nobody with somebody else. But you know your ass ain't right for that person. You know you toxic or that person. The relationship toxic to a degree, and you know it's hard to leave. But sometimes you got to free yourself and free the other person from that. You know what I'm saying? And I just go ahead and just keep elaborating so it'll be my final thoughts. But I just think everybody has to find what works for them. You know, the person that works for them, compatible or non-compatible. Just love who loves you. If you hurt, get healing or heal yourself, as Doc would say, before you move on. Check yourself, look at yourself in the mirror, because a lot of us have the same patterns and we're carrying that baggage into different relationships. So make sure you look at yourself in the mirror, identify with the problems you're having with yourself, and start the healing process. Quit moving so fast to relationship. Like the lady said in the audience, it was good once she knew how to love on herself, how to fix the things that were broken in her own life, then she was able to move on, or now she's ready to move on. So a lot of that comes from the healing yourself. You know what I'm saying? So toxicness is not cool. Toxicity is not cool, but it's I mean, it happens in our community every day, in our households, in our friendships, in our relationships, in our temptations, in our challenges, in the workplace, whatever have you. So we just gotta identify with those things. Stay away from toxicness.
Even if you got to stay away from yourself.
Go ahead, D.
What's your final
thoughts?
thoughts,
D?
Okay. It's on me? Okay, here's the thing. Deliver us not from temptation. Okay. Give me 45 seconds. Here's the thing.
Go. I should let you go last. I forgot you be rapping it.
No, it's cool. So okay, so there's no remedy to be toxic. All the remedy is you take care of yourself. So before I dive deep in a relationship and I know I got problems, you know what I'm saying? I asked God to deliver Dominique from Dominique. You know what I'm saying? Sex was there before I was there. Drugs, hustling, scallywags, hoes, alcohol, all that was there before we were there. So, you know what I'm saying? We don't have to be delivered from those things because we can pick those things up. Sex didn't come knock on your door. Drugs ain't come knock on your door. Other men ain't coming knock on your door, but you're at your own door. So for me to heal toxicity is to ask God to deliver Dominique from Dominique. Ask God to deliver you from you because we're in our own way. And I feel like it's the only resort, no matter how many experts we're around, counseling. Ask God to get you out your own way.
Your own way.
Yeah.
I like that. Give me some hand claps.
Super fact.
Dr.
I think I might just do that.
That sounds good, don't it?
Final thoughts. So for me, I'm gonna use the words of my boy Quayle. Stop forcing relationships. I think we do that a lot, man. Because we may like someone or be attracted to them physically, or we may like the way they're communicating and talking to us. They talking that talk. It could be because the sex is good, or for whatever reason, we try to force relationships out of those things. And I think that's extremely dangerous. And I don't think that it makes a good fit all the time. I think that it's important to know what you need as a person in a relationship and don't settle for anything less than what you need.
That's it right there. Drop the mic.
Thoughts.
That's good.
Last thoughts for the audience before we wrap it up.
Yeah,
we let
him go.
Yeah, we good.
Talk to me about I Am King before we get
Yes,
out
sir.
here,
Can
bro.
I get the flyer? All right, so I Am King. Make sure you get your tickets April you, it's gonna go down.
gonna be
I
dope.
am king. I am
I
king.
am king.
That's right.
I am king.
That's right, man. It's been a wonderful episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure get the toxicness out of your life. Toxic people, toxic habits, toxic temptations,
Yes,
toxic
yes.
everything. Get them out your life,
Yes,
man. We
yes.
see y'all next week, same time, same place. And it's just like that.